You remember what happened yesterday. All hell broke loose yesterday when the National Herald office, the 4th floor, was sealed by the Enforcement Directorate. The Congress party has called the move an open threat and an intimidation tactic by the BJP. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has openly dared the government, saying he is not scared of anyone and he has done nothing wrong. The case traces its origin to a complaint by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. That was about 7 years ago. This is a case that has come to haunt the first family of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. The National Herald newspaper is in the limelight because allegedly its assets and proceeds have been illegally laundered. The matter is sub judice, investigation is underway, but as we track the story with each raid, with each passing day, with each step of the investigating agency, this continues to cause a political battle between the BJP and the Congress. A special report.
ये पूरा इंटिमिडेशन का अटेम्प्ट है। ये सोचते हैं कि थोड़ा सा मतलब प्रेशर डाल के हमें चुप कर देंगे, चुप नहीं होने वाले।
Rahul Gandhi coming out all guns blazing after the Enforcement Directorate temporarily sealed the office of Young Indian. He slammed the Prime Minister for what he called pressure tactics to silence voices of the opposition by using central agencies.
और मोदी से तो मैं मतलब बिल्कुल नहीं सर, लगातार ये बात और लगाएं और बैरिकेडिंग।
और सर आपको जिस तरह से एआईसीसी मुख्यालय को भी बैरिकेड किया गया है,
को बैरिकेड नहीं करा जाता।
While Rahul Gandhi fumed at the centre, the Enforcement Directorate resumed its raids at Young Indian after senior party leader Mallikarjun Kharge turned up at Herald House.
जो ईडी का प्रोसीजर है वो कर रहे हैं और हम ज़्यादा इस पे टिप्पणी इसलिए नहीं करना चाहते हैं। ये तो एक पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा की बात है।
Rahul and Sonia Gandhi are the majority shareholders in Young Indian. Both of them have been questioned multiple times by the Enforcement Directorate over allegations of money laundering. The Congress staged massive protests every time the Gandhis were summoned for questioning.
300 policemen are sent to the Congress President's house. 300 policemen are sent to the former Congress President's house. Some 200 policemen have surrounded the AICC office. What is all this? Are we at war with each other?
And now they're planning to घेर out the Prime Minister's residence and hold a pan-India agitation on the 5th of August. But the BJP claims that the Congress's sole agenda is to save the Gandhis.
अगर कुछ किया नहीं है तो इतना डर क्यों है कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं में, कांग्रेस के बड़े नेताओं में, और खास करके सबका एक ही कवायद है, सबकी कवायद है कि किस प्रकार से एक ही परिवार के लिए हम आंदोलन करें, एक परिवार को कैसे बचाया जाए।
So why is the Congress objecting to a routine part of the investigation? Is it digging itself into a bigger hole?
Well, joining us on the broadcast are our guests from the Congress and the BJP. We are expecting Shazia Ilmi from the BJP to join us in a few minutes from now. Dr. Shama Mohamed of the Congress Party, who's the national spokesperson, is joining us on the show. Good evening, Shama. Thank you so much for speaking to us. There were multiple statements that came from various BJP leaders today, and most of them arguing that the Congress Party is only trying to save the first family and they are not ready to face the due process of law. Please answer those allegations.
If we were not ready to face the due process of law, when Rahul ji was questioned for 5 days and 50 hours, he was called for questioning. He never said no, he never protested, he went there for questioning. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi was called for questioning. She went there, and in fact, when they asked her to leave, she said, listen, you can continue to question me. I'm ready to answer all your questions if you want to continue again further today. So this is all a reason by the present dispensation, the government, to divert from the most important issue today is price rise, is unemployment, is the 5% GST on your pulses, dal, wheat, rice, hospitals, you know, what all we have heard, various things, the GST has gone up, pencils, sharpeners, I can go on with it. So they don't want us to protest. And they want to keep on bringing about this ED thing. The ED questioning is happening on one side. Nobody said, you know, only thing we ask on that particular ED questioning is that don't harass people, because there are many in the government itself who should be questioned by the ED, like Himanta Biswa Sarma, Subindu Adhikari, Narayan Rane. They were all questioned before they joined the party, but once they join the party, they get cleansed as if they've been put into the Ganga. So why is it? There was recently an FIR also against Himanta Biswa Sarma by an MLA from Jharkhand. Okay. So when there are serious allegations against the BJP leaders, I fail to understand why the ED is not let loose on them. And you know, we also know that there were some Shiv Sena leaders, they were questioning Sarnaik. You know, so why is the questioning on him? Stop, because he's now in the part of Eknath Shinde.
Okay.
So that is the thing, you know.
Okay.
Let
me bring in Shazia also into this discussion. Shazia, the argument that Shama Mohamed is making is that if the Congress party was trying to evade the due process of law, you wouldn't have Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi going for each round of questioning each time the Enforcement Directorate has called them. They have taken the legal recourse, they are cooperating with the investigation, but this is an attempt by the BJP only to divert the attention from the real issues. How correct is that?
First of all, I don't see the connection. I mean, I don't see the connection between this and that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is the connection between the two, between the two premises that were made by my friend Shama. So there are very basic questions, and this is exactly what ED has been asking. ED and the whole inquiry has been mandated now by the Supreme Court, as we all know. ED is responsible to the judiciary. And we know that both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, another member of the first family of Congress, Robert Vadra ji, they all have been on bail. And there are real reasons why they are on bail. So one thing is you can make a case about witch hunting and political subjugation, so to speak. The other case is very, very real. The other premise is based on hard facts, is based on money trail, money laundering, is based on a very which can become actually a huge case study in Harvard Business School as to how 15 lakhs can actually yield 2,000 crores. Is based on a real building and the shares and AGL, the company, and a lot of transactions that have taken place and are being attributed to the decisions of which were having been
Shazia,
made by
to
the late
add to the
Motilal
point,
Vora.
and then I'll go to Shama as well.
Yes.
She also made another point, and she said that there were various leaders who were, when in the Congress party or when they were in the opposition camps, they were being probed by the Enforcement Directorate. But the moment they shifted camps, they moved to the BJP, somewhat the investigation stopped.
I mean, a lot of people also say that and blame the BJP that there was so much talk about action having to be taken against Robert Vadra, but nothing really happened. So a lot of people say that. I mean, I can't speak for the ED because I do not work with the ED. I can only speak for my party. And maybe because Congress is so used to using all the agencies for its own advantage. Now, if you do corruption, people will come after you. There would be nobody in this government, nobody is going to be there. It won't be like I scratch your back, you scratch my back. As it used to happen.
Okay.
If you've been there, nobody's going to
let me take those questions.
So if you hadn't indulged in all of these, the ED would not have come after you. But definitely there is nothing transactional, and there are no favors to curry as they would have done with some other party or in some other coalition arrangement.
Dr. Shama Mohamed,
it's a case.
The question there's a direct question that Shazia is asking.
And they're very basic questions here.
I'm going to address them. I'm going to address them. I'm going to address them to Dr. Shama Mohamed. Dr. Shama Mohamed, while politically it might be a very fancy argument to make that this is political witch hunt and vendetta and you're trying to deflect from the main issues, the argument of the BJP is that there is something fishy and that is why this investigation is going on for so long, and you want to raise the issue of inflation and GST, you're more than welcome to do it, but there is no diversionary tactic. This is a mere argument without any substance.
Okay, so for example, this case is 10 years old. They suddenly wake up. There is a section, Young India is a Section 25 company where money laundering can never happen because, you know, the directors, the shareholders cannot get any dividends from this country. And we have also given our tax